The F1 2022 season has just finished yesterday. Officially, the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix is finished. And there are a lot of there are some drivers that may be leaving, some drivers that may be staying. One of the drivers we'll be talking about today is going to be Mick Schumacher, who will be leaving Formula One and is rumored to be a reserve driver for the German outfit that is Mercedes-AMG Petronas F1. Now, Mick Schumacher, this is his second official season. I would really count this as his rookie season, considering last season he was paired up with a guy that was only there because his father's company sponsored the team. And this year, he didn't really have an opportunity to actually develop because Haas are just expecting to get results now that they just completely threw Mick Schumacher out of the window. So next year, Mick Schumacher will be out of Haas. It's going to be Kevin Magnussen and Nico Hülkenberg for next season. But did Mick Schumacher really do that bad in Haas? I gotta say no, because Mick Schumacher had 21 races this season. Obviously, due to the accident he had, I think it was in Jeddah, where he did not compete in the race. That does not count compared to the 22 races he had last season. But last year, he had Nikita Mazepin as a teammate. This year, he had Kevin Magnussen, who has past Formula One experience. So he's never really had a fair shot at, developing in a Formula One team. But I think if he joins Mercedes as a reserve driver, this will be a perfect opportunity for him to learn. And then in a couple years' time, when Audi's going to join the sport, he could go to Audi and join them. So Mick Schumacher, his best finish this season is 6th. His best start is 6th. Last season, his best start was 14th and his best finish was 12th. So Mick Schumacher last season never scored a single point in Formula One. He had 3 DNFs last season compared to his 2 DNFs this season. And a lot of people think that Mick Schumacher crashed out a lot of races. No, he only had 2 DNFs this season. He had an average finish of 13.63 compared to a 16.42 last year, and he had an average start of 13.76 compared to his average start of 17.55 last season. He had 2 points finishes this year, and he scored 12 points compared to last season, where he did not score a point. Now, in the driver standings, he did finish 16th compared to his 19th, but I gotta be honest, we really haven't had a fair shot to judge Mick Schumacher because Mick Schumacher's first ever season in Formula One with a team that needed to get results, that was terrible, the worst team last year, and he was paired with a guy that the name of the team was Ercole Haas F1, which is Nikita Mazepin's father's company. So Mazepin was only there because his father owned the company and his father sponsored Haas. That's the only reason why he was there. This year, Haas was there. Haas got the results because they focused on the 2022 car from last season, and Mick Schumacher as the season progressed, he was getting better. And in the last race, this past Sunday, Mick Schumacher, yes, he made a stupid mistake and dove bomb in, spun Latifi and him and out. But Mick Schumacher then pitted, came back through the field, and still beat his teammate, who I just want to say has more than 5 years of experience in Formula One. Mick Schumacher, before the season, only had 1 compared to Kevin Magnussen's 5. Of course, Kevin Magnussen is going to get more comfortable with the car quicker than Mick Schumacher because Mick Schumacher is a young driver. And now Mick Schumacher apparently is not even in the Ferrari Driver Academy, which means the Schumacher name is basically going to go to Mercedes instead of being in a Ferrari, and I hope Mick Schumacher would have ended up in a Ferrari because it would have been nice to see a Schumacher back in a Ferrari. But I wouldn't mind seeing a Schumacher in a Mercedes because I don't know how long Lewis Hamilton is going to continue driving for Mercedes. He says that he wants to continue in a while. Sebastian Vettel recently just retired. Sebastian Vettel will be the next driver we'll be talking about when it comes to F1. Sebastian Vettel just retired. But Audi is supposed to be joining the sport in 2026. Give Mick Schumacher a reserve driver at Mercedes. Let him test out the Mercedes. And then let him go to Audi, who will actually give him potential. And Audi will be a German team with a German driver. That would be the perfect fit for Mick Schumacher. And I think that next season, he will actually, not next season, the season after next, I think he will get an opportunity to be possibly in one of Mercedes' other cars, whether that's Aston Martin if Stroll gets replaced, but Lance Stroll's father owns a team, or the other team in, I think, Williams. Williams just hired Albon and, Dalton Sargent, the American. So I really don't know where Mercedes is going to go with this, but anything is really possible because I just want to see Mick Schumacher develop, and I want to see Mick Schumacher succeed. Because Haas really didn't give him opportunity, and the first moment he did start impressing, they sacrificed his strategy for his teammate. The same thing Alpine did with Fernando Alonso, and then when he wasn't performing because of them, they just got rid of him and brought Nico Hülkenberg in, who has more experience than Schumacher. So that really kind of doesn't make sense. You're bringing a driver that has more experience than a young driver that you just wanted to develop, and Mick Schumacher just wanted the chance to develop. And also, I have a problem. This is the last thing I'll talk about for this video. Yesterday, Mick Schumacher, after the race, decided to do some donuts, and I've heard that the Formula One FIA only allowed 4 because they allowed 3 drivers that finished on the podium, and then Sebastian Vettel because he was retiring. Let Mick Schumacher do the donuts. Let Mick Schumacher do that, please. Because Mick Schumacher, we don't know if he'll ever be back in Formula One. That could have been his last race in Formula One. And then to come over to radio and say, Mick Schumacher, stop, we need to stop doing donuts. The guy's like, I love you too. And the guy was just really, I'm so happy that he's out of this situation because it was very toxic for him. And I just feel like now that he's out of Haas, he's just going to be in a better mindset. And I can't wait for when Mick Schumacher finally comes back to Formula One. But in terms of that, yeah, Mick Schumacher, I hope to see you again in 2026 or even sooner in 2025 or 2024. Who knows between then, but all I gotta say is that Haas did not give Mick Schumacher a perfect opportunity to develop his craft and become a possible Formula One world champion.